Here's my cup. PDR Tools. Well, you guys know I am always about how paintless dent repair can make you better, quicker, faster, and tools are no exception. And some of these tools you might have already heard of, but a lot of you newbie techs ask me, what tools should I buy? What is the top tech tools should I have? You know, and well, I'm going to give them to you. I'm going to show you. Once again, I'm going to give you a little bit more description, kind of where you would use them, all that good stuff. So, but first, I'm going to get a cup of coffee. Don't worry, I'm going to get rid of this friggin' beanie, ridiculous beanie. It keeps me warm. Keeps me warm. Where was I? PDR Tools. Well, you've got to think about some of the tools that you're going to be using on the most common panels that get dents. And those dents are the doors, front fenders, side panels. Now, if you're going into hail, well, that's going to be a different video. You may even want to check out denttrainer.com, which helps you understand the basics thoroughly, and it's going to help you a lot better than generally my YouTube videos. However, they are freaking informative, and we are going to get into the details as I always do. But think about the tools that you're going to be using. The biggest mistake that I see techs do is that they will actually try to go buy tools before they understand how to use them. How is that possible? How can you do that? That's like guessing, and you waste a lot of time and money. Now, the tools may seem very cheap at first when you are watching something that looks easy, or maybe you're hunting on eBay. You're like, I don't want to spend a lot of money. I'm gonna buy these cheap tools. Listen, this ain't Harbor Freight stuff, okay? PDR tools are not like going to get a gallon of milk, okay? Not everything's gonna taste the same, work the same, feel the same, and give you the same results. That's why PDR tools are super crucial. And understanding the name brands, what they can do, and why you'd want them. That's the whole purpose of this video, right? If you're going to buy 10 tools, this is some of the tools I would get, regardless if I'm a newbie or a veteran. PDR, whew, there's a lot to learn, Now again, this is just tools that I recommend to purchase if you don't know where to go, where to start. And we're gonna go thoroughly pretty much to start pulling out some. PDR isn't just about tools themselves. Listen, if you don't know how to use these tools, it's pointless. Like, for instance, when this tool came out, nobody knew what the hell this was for. They were like, man, that's not gonna work. The biggest fear about anything with people is they don't know. That's it. That's what fear is. I don't know. And what happens, your normal reaction when you say, I don't know, I don't like it. It doesn't work. That's crap. How do you know if you haven't tried? Just like PDR itself, if you don't get better by trying, you didn't try, right? And if you don't try, well, then you ain't never gonna get better. And worse than that is if you're afraid to fail, you're afraid to succeed. I'm not gonna get into all that, but that's part of it. Hate when I drop my audio stuff. First up in my book is a flat bar. Now this one is particularly called a Better Repair. You can talk to Jared Kirk on Instagram, but his flat bar is one of the latest ones that I use because it has slots in here, it has a sled, right? And that is so you can do reverse pushing, you can twist it on here. I'm not gonna get into all the specifics because I cover this again on denttrainer.com. Go there, check it out. You won't regret it. Anyhow, this flat bar is going to give you a ton of control, ton of power, and when you have control and power put together, you are going to have a lot better, cleaner repair. But meanwhile, you have a tip that you can screw on like this, like you see here. Slots, again, like I mentioned, it's already pre-drilled, so you can just screw your stuff in here. But if you look at the tip, right, it's more blunt. And this blunt tip really helps you shine to push. You don't need actually a tip sometimes on this side. This thing does fantastic, especially if you have a longer crease. It works awesome. Hey, you put it down the window and look at the power you have on this mofo. Really, really good control. The great thing that makes this flat bar so awesome is that it stays flush against the edge of the panel, so there's no chance of you slipping. All you're doing is kind of leaning your body weight into the flat bar. This is what makes it so great, so vital. It goes down the door pretty much almost, I would say, from the top to about a little bit just past the middle part of the door. Now you do have to watch out for that bracing because you're not going to get it through that. But this is bendable, so you're going to need some kind of hitch in the back or something that you can bend the tool, because this isn't going to be something you can bend over your knee. This is a fantastic tool for the door. And just in case you guys are wondering, I'm actually using a window guard to protect the window with two wedges, plastic wedges that go on each side. That way it spreads the window open just perfect enough for us to slip our tools down. Now, another common door tool I like to use, again, this is probably one of my go-to tools right here. It is my top 5 tools, are probably top 3 tools that I would never ever leave home without, and now it is the Door Lord set. The only reason why I'm saying this is a set, this doesn't count as 1, 2, 3 tools, but as part of it, I'm just going to count it as one, but you should get the set if you're going to do that, is because the kick on this tool is phenomenal. This is a, let me get out of the way here. This is a nice heel kick. It's very super thin in there, just enough. It can actually finish a dent, meaning when you get to the very small itty bitty part, generally you have to go to a sharper tool tip. Well, this can actually finish it. So if you understand how to work a dent, finish a dent, this tool is going to do just fine for you. However, if you get into the sound deadening and aluminum and stuff like that, they do make a sharper version of this one called the Door Lord Sharps. This is called the Door Lord Paddles. Now they do come in 3 sets, along with their handle that you see here is called the Gorilla Grip, right? And you step it on here, and now you can put it in different angles, and you can put extensions on it and really create the leverage and power you need. Remember, leverage and power equal what? Clean, right? So if you have those two together, you're gonna have a much better, cleaner, faster PDR repair, period. When I'm going down the door, I'm going to push it down. I'm gonna have this cocked just a little bit, not in line, just cocked a little bit outward like this. So when I'm pushing, now my wrist is staying straight. I'm not over twisting and putting a lot of stress on my wrist. That's gonna help you down the line, less and less chance of you creating carpal tunnel, arthritis, or anything like that. You can also add extensions on here. This has already got one right here on the handle, and you can actually make it even longer. The longer the handle, the less stress is gonna be on your wrist. Again, what am I gonna say? More power. Now, as I push, I'm actually pushing and twisting. So as I twist, I'm actually pushing too as well. So I'm doing 2 things 50% of the time. I'm pushing and twisting, okay? A lot of guys, what they do is they just do straight twist all the time. That's fine. This tool is very capable of letting you do that because of the kick and the heel on this thing. But generally you wanna get into that habit of pushing and twisting. That is gonna give you control, much, much better control. Some guys, when you have too short of a heel, a lot of guys try to twist and they get on the dent and it slides off. This isn't gonna be not much of a case with this one, but get in the habit of doing that. Now, I definitely like to use gaffer's tape at first because this tool is so sharp. It actually is pretty sharp just for a blade itself. So what I do is I take some gaffer's tape, I take about a 4-inch strip and tape it up here really tight, and that will actually create a soft tip for the edge of the tool. Now, I don't use it the whole way. Only when I have a bigger dent, about the size of a quarter, I want to get it down to a dime. I start taking the tape off, and at the end I can take it all the way off to finish my dent. This is a fantastic way to actually start your dent. Now I'm gonna show you a different tool to help you if you have a bigger dent, and you can use another tool that has a lot of different ways to get a dent out. Okay, your soft tip, 24-inch double bend soft tip. Now the reason why I say it's 24 inches, because if you use something too short, generally you're not gonna be able to use it up on the front fenders or longer on a hood or somewhere that needs a little bit more length, like a quarter panel. Also, this is a great tool for going down the door because it offers a lot of strength. You can add extensions to it, and you can add different and variations of tips. This is what makes this tool so vital. It is definitely in my top 3. So far, you have the door lords, and this one is in those top 3 tools. I'll try to give you my number 1 other one. Well, I guess if I had to leave, I guess I'm spoiler alert, flat bar, soft tip, door lords. Those are pretty much it. I mean, I don't mind going on the road with those tools, but that's why we got 10 tools, right? So we're gonna keep going. So here are some tips that I like to use. If you are a veteran tech, then you already know what this tool is going to do. You know what tips you want to use. But if you're a newbie tech, what tools, tips should you get? Well, get as many as you can, but specifically, I like to use these 3. Here's a soft tip and ultra one that comes with it. Well, actually it doesn't come with it, but they sell it directly. And then this is the R4 from Dent. Now this one is a must-have as well. You could use either one of those, so it's going to be awesome. But here is the dealio. Go from soft tip to midpoint, which we call this one right here. This is a midpoint right there. All right, it's not too sharp and not too dull. All right, but it's plastic, not metal. And then there is a sharper plastic one right here, which is peak. This is fantastic for finishing out those sharp body lines, or maybe you're having to get a pit out. It's not going to pock up the metal. All right, it's going to actually give it a nice controlled, precise push to finish out those little center pits that you are trying to deal with. So yes, there is proper times to have a metal tip, especially if you're going to go on aluminum or you got some sound deadening. But again, I don't know how many times I got to say, go to denttrainer.com. You will see all the details inside of the details regarding that. But if you are able to get 3 tool tips, the screw-on tips, those are some of the tips I would get. The Ultra Dent soft tip or the R4 with the cherry cap. You got to get the cherry cap separately from Dentcraft. The midpoint, and you will probably need to use some gaffer's tape like I do on this, because the reason why, you can slip with plastic. Plastic on metal, they don't really get along. They will make a high spot in your panel, and then you're going to be pretty upset. So then again, last but not least, use a sharper tip, plastic tip, to finish out safely. Okay, if you're a veteran tech, then you guys know you can go to a metal tip, but it's even at that. I rarely go to a metal tip. I will never go metal tip on a body line. I always end up using either a plastic tip like this with the gaffer's tape, or something like this with a sharp tip on here that's going to last with heat, and I'm able to push it out really nice and clean. Now the double bend soft tip is going to work really good on the front fender. You just pull back the fender liner right here, use the tire as leverage, bang, you're actually going to get a lot of power with this double bend soft tip. Again, if you need more power, you can either turn out the wheel so you can get more leverage that way, or again, add some extensions to this, put your tip on top of that, and now you have more leverage that way as well. So a combination with this soft tip tool with some extensions that you can actually screw on here with the right tips, you got to win. You can actually do a lot of different types of dents with this tool. You can get it down a door, quarter panel, anywhere you want. That is something I would consider definitely getting in your top tools, all right? If I was getting one practice tool, I would probably get the double bend soft tip. You have a lot of variations. You can use it in open panels, like if you're gonna do a hood. You can go down the door, you can go down the fender, you go down quarter panels. This is a very versatile tool. Definitely probably a number 1 tool I would get first if I was gonna pick one tool, because it is just an awesome tool, all around tool. You see, every tool arsenal needs a small tool arsenal. I'm not going to give you a whole load of different wires and hand tools and all that stuff, because again, this is my top tool list, and this is preferred my list, not a Bible of every person who was going to agree hands down with me. Matter of fact, I don't know how many people will agree with me or not agree with me, but I've been teaching PDR for a long time, and I understand what tools do what. And these are all like Swiss Army knives. All right, when it comes to small tools like this wire right here, it wants to focus on my face, but you see how it's got a heel? It's a 90-degree. Always look out for something like this, because when you have a 90-degree tool like this, you have two ways to use, actually three ways to use, three ways to use this tool. You've got the heel, you've got the side, and you've got the direct pushing of the tip. So this is what makes this tool so versatile, especially in close range. When you take off the little plug inside, you got a lot of openings right here. Anything this close range, you are going to be able to use this tool really well. Now, a wire tool is really designed for going through very narrow areas, not an open area, because then you'd have to use a leverage, and this isn't going to have enough torque or diameter to give you that type of push. It really shines through holes, small openings, narrow passages. That's just why you want a wire tool. Something on a hood, trunk, between the door, like I told you, like in those little holes, that's where you're gonna be using this. And again, you can use the heel, the sides, and the tip. This is one of the strongest wires that you're actually going to purchase. You can get this on Dent Craft. It is perfect for also aluminum panels too. So I've never broken one of these, and I've had this tool for 15 years. I don't know what to tell you guys. Now, going back to the crane, as I was showing you earlier, that this tool is highly versatile, because you can use the side, you can use the direct push with this thing. It is an all-around tool. It really shines in the front fender. You have a deep dent, you have little lows, you need some finish work. This is an all-around tool. It actually pushes like a soft tip and finishes like a sharp. I love the tool, terrific tool. It's a stand liner tool, which means they just think outside the box on some of their tools. I don't know how to really describe it, but when you are pushing with it, it's freaking forgiving. I mean, I don't know what other tool that actually is this sharp and can push that clean without making more of a mess for you. Sharper tools like a pick or a door lord sharp or a PDR finesse, they're intended to be super sharp. But if you don't know how to use them the right way, well, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. With this, you have a lot of leeway. It's very forgiving. And I know you won't be disappointed with this, because you're gonna be able to use this tool on this fender, especially if you have a crease. It doesn't even matter which way the crease goes, you're gonna love this tool. You can also use it in open panels, quarter panels, you name it, you can actually use this tool. So I do recommend buying this tool. It is awesome. Up next is the double bend blade tip tool. This is from Ultra Dent Tools. Again, here is my take too as well. Don't worry if you have to get the exact same brand. Just get something very similar, like a name brand. A1 Tools, Dent Craft, Anson, PDR Finesse, Ultra Dent Tools, Blem Tools that offer tools like this. Now, what would I use a double bend blade tip tool like this for? I need it to have somewhat of a bend. Otherwise, if it's too narrow or too straight, I'm not gonna have enough leverage. It has just enough kick so I can actually use it, have a little leverage here, and then I can use it on hood like this, or down a quarter panel. Actually, believe it or not, down a door. I don't recommend using it down the doors because it's a little long, but there are shorter versions of this. Going down maybe the side panel of a door is gonna work awesome. Quarter panels, truck beds, underneath the wheel wells. It's made to get in more narrow passages as well, so the higher up the panel goes, the more narrow it gets, and that's why you have a tool that has it's shaved on each side. Now, don't get me wrong, you can actually still push directly with this too. This tip is very forgiving for direct pushing along with side loading. You can also tape it, just like I was mentioning, with gaffers to actually soften the push, and then now you've got a great tool. Ultra makes, with their octagon systems, that you can actually put different handles on them. I like tools that don't have the handles. So there's two types of tool systems I like. I like the hub system from A1 and Anson, their tequila line, and then this hub system, which is the octagon from Ultra Dent. Like, I'm trying to get out, there you go, Ultra Dent right there. But the cool thing about it, so about Ultras, is that, listen, you can actually put an extension. So if you need more length, you can put something like this on, and then put one of their handle systems on here too as well. So You know, now look, and it can even spin too as well on that. You can build this handle. So generally, you have options. Now, this isn't really something that's gonna come with all your tools. They will generally come with a handle. I don't like handles that are permanent. You wanna get something, if you can afford to buy one like this and then get the handle systems of your choice, that's a win. The Double Bend Ultra Blade Tip Tool, definitely a must-have tool. Now you definitely want to get a shave tool. Shave tools are strong, at least the good ones. This one happens to be an Ultra Dent shave tool. You can see that why they call it a shave tool, because look how thin that tool is. It actually goes thin all the way across. You're not gonna have no problems when you're twisting. It's not going to twist in the middle. It's gonna have all the drive going right to the tip. Now, the great thing about this tool is that you can use the heel and you can use the tip. Perfect for going down the quarter panel. Maybe you're going through the tail light, slip it down. You can use the tip right here on the bottom edge of the fender. Maybe you want to use the heel, switch it around and use the heel for a softer push. It's a perfect way you can get both usage out of both ends of the tip. The heel right here and the tip right here. Now the tool isn't just limited to the quarter panel. You can get this down a door, come right down through the middle, in between the bracing, in between the glue. Perfect for that. Now a shave tool like this is gonna go really well down a door. Right here is usually bracing right there, so you can slip that tip right in there and use the tip of it like this, or slip it further and then use the heel. You can always reverse push with it as well, and you can get towards the front of the door. In this area right here, when you have a sharper dent and glue pulling's out of the question, well, this is another reason why this tool is so fantastic. Because it's so narrow in this area, you may have to make an access point, or maybe there'll be a manufactured access point already there. You can slip your tool right there, right across the panel, and use the tip or use the heel. Flip it around, do the same thing in that order. Now you can get this tool down, like I said, quarter panels, doors, even hoods, trunks, roofs, anything that's got a brace or somewhere that's tight. This thing's gonna shine like a mofo. You veteran techs, you newbie techs, you don't have this thin half-inch whale tail from Dent Craft, you are missing the boat. This thing is not only flexible, but watch, when I twist it, man, it stays. I've had this particular whale tail for about 15 years as well. It's not because I should have had it my whole career. I just didn't know about it my whole career, but man, this is fantastic. I'm talking about, look how thin that freaking tool is. This thing is super strong. They don't make it like this one anymore. It does look like a traditional whale tail, but you're not going to be disappointed. This thing gets in the most tightest areas. It's a half-inch width diameter, 30 inches by length, and it gets in half-inch holes. It gets between bracing, it gets between the doors, it gets in that tight seams towards the front of the door. It is money. It is something you definitely want to have. If you don't already own it, you're missing the boat. You're gonna wish you had it. The only regret you will have getting this is that you wish you should have had it sooner. The Reaper from the Dent Reaper. This is the Reaper, the OG Reaper. Now this is a little tiny bit modified here. Let me pop that in there. So I think they've actually made these sharper these days, but I like this tool of the length of the tool, the kick of the tool, and you can get it as a single tool just right off the bat. Now there are other ones like the Door Lord Sharps. Those are something definitely to consider getting. The PDR Finesse. So something similar to this one, then you are in like Flynn. I'm not gonna put all the whole listings of right now. I don't wanna confuse you, but you need a sharper tool to finish a dent in situations that you're talking about aluminum panels, sound deadening, anything like that that you have to push through a little bit more harder. A sharper tool is going to give you more pinpoint precision. So the smaller the dent gets, the smaller your tip should be. That's why we want a sharper point to our tools, okay? That right there is going to help really define the way you push. Now the OG Reaper tool is shaved really down the side of that right there that you're going to see and notice. It gets really shaved here and then it starts getting more round right in this section right here. You can side load with this. You can use it in open panels and push directly with the tip. You can mainly, what you're using it for is pushing with the side of that tip right there. So let me hide my face right there. And that is what it's designed for. You can go down the doors, go through the side quarter panels, you can go through the hoods, trunks, things like that. You can even get it between some of the bracing that's in the middle of the door panel and sharp enough to get just enough push and twist to do that. You really can't use it with this heel. This heel doesn't have enough kick right there, but there are other ones that he has that have that capability. So go check out the dentreaper.com. Picks. Now there are variations of tools of picks that you could possibly get. Matter of fact, be right back, I forgot one. Variations, as I was saying. So this one is a double bend pick. It's an ultra pick. This has more kick. Remember, the more bend, right? That means the more room in the panel you have. So you need more bend to create that leverage. That's why we have a bendable one. Ultra also has, I would call it more of a ball pin. It's a real thin tip right there, as you can see, right? And it is actually really forgiving on your finishing. So if you have little tiny micro lows, the picks are the reason why you want to use these. Tequila, oops, this one right here. The tequila pick. Now check this one out here. Now you'll notice that it's a little shaved on one side or both sides, right? And it's very sharp on the end, and it's got a decent heel right there. So you can actually push with the heel and finish. Now, this is no bend, and generally most picks don't have a bend, but it's made to go in real narrow areas, maybe the cross beams of a hood, and it's real thin. You can get between the bracing like this would be a bracing. It slips between and you can kick off of it. You can also turn it around and do the same for the opposite. This is a fantastic tool, a pick to get. So consider these. I'm showing you 4 to 5 different ones because they do have a little variations. You will, as a veteran tech, or when you get better at what you do and at your craft, you're gonna want a little bit variations of different tools that almost do the same thing, but don't quite do it. They actually have their own strong points, and this is why I'm talking about these picks. Dentcraft has something similar to an ultra pick, right? Probably one of the most affordable out of everything here. Dentcraft is pretty actually affordable for a hell of a long time. Maybe people don't want to hear this, but Dentcraft, you need to raise your prices because you guys' tools are phenomenal for the value of what you guys offer. Ultra normal pick, right? Again, here's the straight version. It's more rounded, right? And again, it's probably, I would say this is probably one of the most forgiving tips out of all the picks that you want. Now, let's talk about where you would use this tool. So you'd use it maybe in an open access where you can actually have some leverage and push like this. Maybe you made an access point, slipped it through, and now you can push with the tip, or you can use the heel of that tool. You can actually side twist it depending on how narrow the panel is. And again, it's fantastic for aluminum and very good for tightening up stretched metal and finishing. Those are the main reasons why you want to have picks, and they're fantastic on, and I say that word a lot. Did I say that? Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. All these tools are fantastic. Now I just picked this one up. Get it? Picked this one up. This is the PDR Finesse tool. It is awesome. The reason why I like this tool is crazy sharp, man. This if I'm using aluminum, this is where I'm going. I'm gonna use this Finesse one. I can also push with the heel of this one. It's got just enough kick. Look at that. So it is great. I know you veteran techs are like, man, that is actually a nice pick. Yeah, I strongly recommend getting one of these, all right? And if you can afford the variations of these picks, do it. You're not gonna regret it. It's not like it's gonna sit in your drawer or your bag or something like that. You're gonna use them, guarantee it. It makes you a better and cleaner tech. So those are my top 10 tech tips. Did I get all the tools? I hope I did. Now, you may think, well, wait a minute, that's like 15, 16 tools Mike was talking about. Remember, some of these tools, I'm gonna give you a little bit of variations of tools. Again, I will list at least the major tool brands that I know of that I trust in this industry who make top quality tools. Man, who in the heck is texting me? Always busy. But listen, I hope you guys found this helpful. Just make sure you buy once, right? And cry once. Don't buy cheap because you know you're gonna buy in twice. If you're serious about this, you wanna invest in yourself, get the right tools in the beginning. If you're brand new tech and you can't afford 10 tools, which I don't imagine you would, but just to knock out the confusion and help you understand, give you a little bit more insight about where to use these tools and what they're for, at least get the top 3 tools or some of the tools that you're gonna be using down a door, hood, or something like that. That should help you get some more insight. Well, listen, my name is Mike Toledo. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later and see you on the next one.